Are we ready for this?
I think so. Let's go.
It's almost 2 o'clock, so we should be done by 2:15, 2:20.
Absolutely.
Yeah. One take.
One take. I think we could do it in one take.
All right.
Okay.
Good deal. Well, hey guys, thanks for tuning in today. My name is Jim with Paragon Realtors in Paragon, Oklahoma, both Texas and Oklahoma, and here with my friend Christi. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Christi?
My name is Christi John, and I am a mortgage lender for First United Mortgage. I have my own team. It's Christi's mortgage team. I've been doing this for 13 years.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so Christi and her mortgage team.
Yes.
Before we go to the mortgage team, tell me a little bit about you and your family, where you're from, any fun things about you.
I'm actually an Oklahoma transplant. I was born in Texas, so I'm a Texas girl, I know, but we do root for the Sooners in my Texas family. But I am not married, but I have a son. He is 27. He's a Marine, and he is married to someone who works with the Army, and she is always on deployment with the Army. And I have a 3-year-old grandson, and he is nonverbal autistic. So we're learning sign language and having all the fun learning how to communicate differently.
I imagine there's a lot of excitement in the home.
It's a lot of fun, actually.
And challenge,
yes, it is.
which is not too much different than real life, in the mortgage world. So tell us a little bit about lending and what you love about it, or maybe what got you into it.
I'll tell you, I love getting a first-time home buyer in my office and showing them exactly how they can be a homeowner. My next passion, as you could probably already tell, I have a Marine son and his wife is in the Army. So I love working with my veterans. That's a perfect loan for them. It's 0 down. So those are my 2 favorite things I love about lending.
Okay. Well, that's actually what ended up connecting us.
Connecting us.
Was, that gentleman that was a VA loan. It was a really challenging situation.
Yes.
It turns out he had some common traits that your son had dealt with, and he was also, as an older man, he was a first-time home buyer.
He was.
Let's just spend some time talking about first-time home buyers. But before we get into the nitty-gritty of that, go back to your younger life. Not that you're old, but go back to those younger years. And what is one piece of advice you might give for a first-time home buyer now?
Okay, so I can tell you from the mistakes that I made as a young lady, I didn't take care of my credit. I didn't realize that what I did back when I was 18, 19, 20 was going to affect me when I was 28, 29, 30. And so definitely take care of your credit. That's probably the best advice I can give someone when they're young, is to just really take that serious. Here's a little tip and trick for someone who has teenage kids who are probably around 16 or 17. I would advise the parents to get a credit card and put their child as a signer on this credit card. Do not give the credit card to the child.
That's great advice.
Yes, but use it and build their credit. So when they're graduated from college, they've already have an established credit report or credit score, and they'll be able to use that, and it'll be a little bit easier for them.
Well, let's talk a little bit of business.
Okay.
So if you watch the news, of course, it's crazy. Interest rates, the market, prices, et cetera, for a first-time home buyer. Why is it important that they consider buying now if they have the means to do so?
Yes, the reason is because just like we saw in 2020, that is going to open up here soon. The rates are going to drop. Probably sometime in the summertime. We were hoping it would be a little earlier, but I don't think it's going to. But when that happens, it's going to be a seller's market again. You're going to have a whole lot of buyers hit the market and not a lot of product on the market to sell. So right now the market is slow, so the sellers are more apt to give seller credit, maybe lower the price, help the first-time home buyer with maybe buying their interest rate down a little bit with that seller credit. But when the market opens up, that same seller is going to have 3, 4, maybe even 5 offers on the table, and your first-time home buyer is not going to look the prettiest to that seller. So that is why it is incredibly important for them to really think about hard not waiting until interest rates drop, because the price of the home is probably going to rise and you're not going to have as much help.
Okay. So there's probably some help available. Quickly tell us about maybe one or two programs that might be available for first-time home buyers.
Right. So if you're a first-time home buyer, there are down payment assistance programs. You actually have one here in Durant, right in your backyard. It's REI. They offer down payment assistance programs. Ranging from 3.5% down all the way up to 5% down. And then we have something called OFA grants. And I believe they're based out of Oklahoma City. My bank, First United Mortgage, has won awards with both of these down payment assistance programs. They're wonderful. They work the exact same way. And they are available for people who have credit scores above 640, so 640 or higher. They will help with your down payment. And in most cases, if we do something called a USDA loan, which is a no down payment loan, and your customer qualifies for that, your buyer qualifies for that, then we can use that down payment assistance money to go towards their closing costs.
Okay. Well, great.
Yeah.
Okay. So as a realtor, I have people call me every day wanting to look at a house. And one of the first questions I ask them is, have you been pre-approved? And most of the time, I don't get a clueless answer, but I get a question is, how do you do that? So that's my question to you is, what does that process look like to get pre-approved? Yeah.
Okay. That's a great question, because that's also the first question that every realtor should be asking.
So at least I'm doing something
You're
right.
doing it right. You're doing it absolutely right. So so there's a difference between a pre-qual and a pre-approval. So a pre-qual is when you just submit all of your information to the lender. You qualify with all of the information that you've given me. I haven't verified anything. Your credit score is where it needs to be for what you're wanting to do. And then that's called a pre-qual. But a pre-approval is what you're actually looking for as a realtor. That means that your lender has literally looked at their bank statements. We've actually looked at their paycheck stubs. We verified all of their information. My team goes one step further. I always get a verification of employment first, because I want to know if my paycheck matches what the employer is actually going to tell me they make. So that is what a pre-approval should look like. It takes little effort on everyone's part, and it goes a long way when you go to submit an offer.
Okay. So you mentioned like bank statements and pay stubs. Like what all things am I going to need if I'm going to, not pre-approval, but if I'm actually going to buy a house? Is it more?
Yes. You're going to need a whole lot more than that. So what I typically ask for up front when we're getting a pre-approval is, I want your W-2s for the last 2 years. If you are self-employed, I want to see your full tax return. So if you're a self-employed borrower, you might as well just know that I'm about to ask for your taxes. I want your personal taxes and your business taxes. I'm going to ask for 2 months worth of bank statements. I'm not looking to see how many times you went to McDonald's. What I'm looking for is to see if you've ever overdrawn your account, or if there's a very large deposit that kind of stands out to me. That's what I'm looking for. I'm going to need 30 days worth of paycheck stubs. So that means if you get paid every 2 weeks, I'm going to need 3 of those. And that is exactly important to have on hand, just to go ahead and submit to your lender right up front.
Yeah, that's helpful to know ahead of time, because some of that can take a few days to get prepared. So, okay, so how long? There's a couple of maybe quicker questions. About how long does it take to get a loan approved? Once you're approved, and maybe the first-time home buyers found a house, what's the time frame that they can expect?
You're looking anywhere from probably close to 28 to 30 days here in Oklahoma. Now it'll be a little bit faster in Texas because they don't have abstracting. So we're typically waiting on the title company right there at the end, just to make sure we can close.
Okay. And then closing. Everyone dreads the idea of closing costs. So what's the expectation? I'm buying a house for the first time. This is a big stretch for me. What kind of money am I going to have when it come to the end?
So when you are shopping for insurance, that's one of the things that you're going to have to pay a full year of. Taxes are usually, 3 or 4 months. We need to hold that in escrow. So you're going to pay a full year of insurance, a couple of months for the following year. So you have an escrow. You're also looking at title fees, abstracting fees, and there's always an origination fee with the bank. You have to pay me to work with you.
Right. We all like to get paid for what we do.
We all like to get paid.
That's fair. So, so we hadn't talked much about down payment, which is fine, and that will vary widely depending on the program or the person. But I'm just curious, like, what's the most creative, like, down payment solution, like, that you've ever come across?
So hopefully there's no underwriters listening to this, or even mine for that matter. So we knew of someone who had money at home. So you could do one of two ways. When you have a large amount of money, you can slowly start putting it into your checking account, hoping that no one sees it. That's one way to do it. Or you could do it like this gentleman did. He went to the casino, deposited it in, and then he deposited it right back out. So it looked like a casino win. And that is an acceptable form of income. As long as we can verify it, where it came from, then we can move forward.
Okay, that makes so he put it all on red, maybe.
All on red, and then cashed it right out.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. All right, just to wrap up with some kind of fun things real quickly, just some rapid fire things. So,
perfect.
Christi, what's your favorite color?
Pink.
Wow. Pink? All right. What's your favorite fast food restaurant?
That's going to be Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. It's hard to beat. It's hard to beat, that's for sure. Okay, what about your favorite sports team? You already mentioned OU, but has somebody beat them out?
Thunder. I really like my basketball.
All right. What about pets? Do you have pets?
Two.
Two? What kind?
I'm a rescue girl, so I have a cat. His name is Kyle, and I have a dog named Oliver.
Okay. Yeah. Kyle the cat.
Kyle the cat.
All right. Very interesting. Okay. So beach or mountain?
Beach.
Okay. Summer or winter?
Winter.
Okay. Early bird or night owl?
I'm a night owl.
All right. Are you a country girl or a city?
I'm a city girl.
City girl. Okay. All right. And last question, tea or coffee?
Tea.
Gotta go with tea. Jazz and tea. Well, I'm going with coffee. So, hey, it's been fun spending time with you today, Christi.
Thank you for having me.
First-time home buyers, guys, this is it's a huge step, we know, and you need some great partners on your side. So Christi is a great partner on the lending side, and I'd love to be your partner on the real estate side. If we can do anything to help you or serve you or be a resource for you, be sure and reach out. Have a great day.